Hello YouTube viewers and Transformers fans of all ages, this is the TFN Geek coming to you with a special figure spotlight video. I decided to make this video a premiere because the Transformers character we're going to look at today is a 6-changer, and I didn't want to make the video too lengthy with having to transform the toys for you. So unfortunately you won't see me actually transform the toys, but I will show off each of their alt modes and all their modes in total. So today the Transformers character we are going to look at is Greatshot. Now Greatshot is an obscure Transformers character, and Greatshot is actually as obscure as Transformers characters come. He was released by Takara Tomy in their Transformers Victory toy line in 1989. And basically Greatshot has an interesting backstory. So basically Greatshot, every toy of Greatshot that exists, and I think there's actually a total of, counting third-party and fourth-party toy companies, which is what this version of Greatshot to the right is. This was made by a fourth-party Transformers toy company named Clone Droid, and Clone Droid basically made knockoffs of Transformers toys that were made by a third-party company called Mastermind Creations. So basically, Greatshot, every toy of him that exists, is a repaint and a retool of an existing toy of the Transformers character of Decepticon Six-Shot. Now because Greatshot and Six-Shot have similar names, and the fact that Greatshot is a repaint and a retool of Six-Shot, after Greatshot was introduced, basically what happened in the extended Japanese exclusive seasons of the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon, towards the end of Transformers Headmasters, the character of Decepticon Six-Shot, he was basically injured on the battlefield and was left for dead by his fellow Decepticons, and after realizing that even he, with his unique ability of having up to 6 modes, or later when he killed Ultra Magnus, it was revealed that Six-Shot actually had 6 alt modes plus his robot mode, totaling 7. But after Six-Shot was left for dead on the battlefield and he barely managed to survive, Six-Shot realized that even he wasn't anything special to the other Decepticons, and so towards the end of Transformers Headmaster, Six-Shot decided to take off, and he flew off into outer space to see where he belonged in the universe. Super God Master Force went by, and then Transformers Victory started, and a few episodes into Transformers Victory, the character of Greatshot came along. Now a lot of Transformers fans, and especially in Japan, had a theory that Greatshot was actually just like the character of Drift. The character of the Transformers character Drift, for those of you who don't know who he is, Drift was introduced in the Transformers comic books, and it was revealed that he was originally a Decepticon named Deadlock, and so for the longest time, Transformers fans have believed that Greatshot was just like Drift. He was in fact Six-Shot, and that through his space travels he had become reformed, and just out of having a faction of Transformers to be a part of, he became an Autobot out of his own choice. Because in the Transformers Victory cartoon, Greatshot revealed that he originally worked for the Decepticons, but after he saw how evil they were, he decided to join the Autobots to try and stop the Decepticons from advancing their evil plans. But there was no proper origin story for Greatshot in the Transformers Victory cartoon. And the reason why I said a moment ago Greatshot has always been an obscure Transformers character, that's because after he was introduced in Transformers Victory, Greatshot revealed that he was a loner. He didn't like to partner up or team up with anyone else, and basically throughout his appearances in Transformers Victory, Greatshot, he would basically come onto the battlefield whenever the main cast of Autobots were in trouble, but Greatshot never actually joined up with the Autobot station on Earth or Cybertron. So yeah, Greatshot, he's always kind of been under the radar and out of focus. So for those of you, if you've never heard of Greatshot before watching this video, it's not all too surprising. Basically, you have to know Greatshot exists to find out about him, and honestly, I had no idea Greatshot even existed until Takara Tomy announced that they were releasing this version of Greatshot in the Transformers Legends toy line. And this version of Greatshot is mold mates with Titans Return Six-Shot, and also Titans Return quick strike. As I lose my voice and train of thought. Yeah, basically, I didn't know Greatshot existed until 1.5 years ago. But after I found out that he existed, I realized that he was a Transformers character that I really enjoyed, and what made me like Greatshot most was his paint job of being mostly red, white, and blue with black and gold highlights, and yeah, visually, Greatshot, he lives up to his name of being great, in my opinion. So bringing back on Greatshot's origin story, basically Takara Tomy, to put fan theories to rest, they released a miniature comic book, and they explained that Greatshot was not, in fact, a reformed Six-Shot. He was, in fact, a completely separate character, and basically Greatshot had been a servant to Six-Shot, and after realizing that he was always going to be a servant, and realizing that Six-Shot was always going to, and the other Decepticons were going to always have command over him, Greatshot decided he didn't want to live that life. And basically in the comic book origin story for Greatshot, it was revealed that Greatshot, along with Six-Shot and another Six-Changer Transformers character named Six Knight, they were all part of a secret group of Transformers known as the Six Clan. And basically they were ninja Transformers that had 6 modes, and what they were doing was they were hiding and lying in wait in the shadows and waiting for the war between Optimus Prime and Megatron to end. And basically once the Autobots and Decepticons had annihilated each other, the Six Clan would rise out of the ashes and build a whole new society in which they were the only Transformers who survived. So yeah, that was really creepy of Takara Tomy to make an origin story for Greatshot and it was, I think it worked for Greatshot. Now on that note, here for the Transformers Legends version of Greatshot, Takara Tomy decided to do a 180, and in the pack-in comic book that's on the back of Greatshot's instruction sheets, Takara Tomy did the opposite of what they did during Generation 1, and they actually made Greatshot a reformed Six-Shot. And basically what happened was when Six-Shot, after traveling through space for a while, he returned to Earth, and he slowly started to see the Autobots were slightly more noble in their actions for the Transformers War. And basically what happened was Six-Shot actually befriended a human named Jack, and one day Jack was almost injured by the Decepticons, and Six-Shot realized that he actually cared for Jack, and he found that he actually cared for other life forms beside his own. And so Six-Shot asked the Autobots to help save Jack's life, and they saved Jack by turning him into a Headmaster/Titan Master robot. And so to make Jack have his full transformation and become an actual Transformer to survive, Six-Shot asked the Autobots if he could join them, and he was rebuilt as Greatshot. So yeah, that's the name of Greatshot's Headmaster/Titan Master partner is Jack. Lifting his helmet back up, you can see Greatshot has a nice painted headband there on the top of his head. I'll show off Jack when I transform these guys into their next modes. So yeah, that's the background story on Greatshot. And both these toys, they have similar points of articulation. Clone Droid's version of Greatshot, it does have slightly more points of articulation because there's more joints to the transformation, and it's much more intricate than Hasbro and Takara Tomy. There's individual fingers on the hands. Hands is one thing. And one up that the third-party version of Greatshot has over the official product. This toy, because Greatshot and also Six-Shot were originally not headmasters in the Generation 1 toy line, one of the traits that this version of Greatshot has over this one is that this one over here is not a headmaster, so you don't have to detach the headmaster when you transform him into his alt mode, so the head stays intact. So that's one up that version has. Now on Takara Tomy's version of Greatshot, I hear some of you saying, but Hasbro's version of Six-Shot, Takara's version of Six-Shot, and even Hasbro's Quick Switch figure, they don't have to be headmasters. They can store away fully. That is true on those versions of the molds they can, and be non-headmaster transformers if you desire. But here on Greatshot's head, those two horns that he has, they get in the way. When you try to transform Greatshot like Six Shot and Quick Switch, the horns can't fit because the inside of the torso where the head lies was not retooled by Takara Tomy. So unfortunately, what you do is to transform Greatshot's head, his robot head, what you do is you actually have to fold the horns inside the helmet where the Headmaster / Titan Master lies, and then you can transform the head properly. So, unfortunately, Takara Tomy's version of Greatshot, it is a permanent Headmaster transformer. There's no possible method of having Greatshot not be a Headmaster the way Six Shot and Quick Switch are. So yeah, that is a tad unfortunate. So, transforming the Headmaster / Titan Master, here is Jack. Yes, that is his name, Jack. Again, he is the exact same Headmaster as the ones that were given to Six Shot and Quick Switch. He's just matches Greatshot's paint job of red, white, and blue with black and gold highlights, so that's pretty great. So so that's the Headmaster for Takara's version of Greatshot, and we've covered the backstory, and you've seen the robot mode. Both the robot modes, the retooled parts between Greatshot and Six Shot are, he has taller older towers which have double cannon barrels on them. The chest is new, and the gold bird, a lot of Transformers fans have said that it's a phoenix. That's why Transformers fans and later Takara Tomy decided to turn Greatshot into Six Shot and make them the same character, even though originally they weren't. And also the wings are different. And that's another thing with Takara's version of Greatshot. Unlike Quick Switch and Six Shot, where when you fold the chest down, the wings would flip up and store into little cavity spaces right here for the wings to occupy. Greatshot's wings are much bigger than those spaces are, so unfortunately, just like the Generation 1 toy line, Greatshot's wings do fold and cover his chest up. So now that I've started to slowly transform Takara's version of Greatshot, I will get to the full transformation for all of you, so bear in mind with me, I will get into the next mode and be back in a moment. Alright, and so here are both versions of Greatshot transformed into their beast mode, which is a Rhino. And it looks nothing like a Rhino, I've heard Transformers fans say, and I tend to agree, but to be honest, for what Takara Tomy had to work with, and even the third-party companies going off Takara Tomy's design, and I think they managed to do it. And one thing I like about both versions of Greatshot, the version by Takara Tomy and the third / fourth party version by Clone Droid, both versions of Greatshot, when they're in their Rhino modes, they have opening mouths, so you can make them look like they're growling when they're transformed into Rhino mode. I'll get into the next mode real soon. I haven't decided which one yet. That's why I didn't make an announcement when I transformed them from robot mode what mode I was going to go into next. So just bear in mind with me, and I'll show them off both real soon. And thank you for enjoying the video so far. So on to the next mode. Okay, and so here we are onto the third mode, the mode that most Transformers fans have agreed for Six Shot and for subsequent repaints and retool. It's the mode that you either love it or you hate it, the tank mode. So the tank mode, it doesn't look a thing like a tank, even less so than the Rhino mode for Greatshot. Looks like a real Rhino, but to be honest, again, and basically, within the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon, it was then the futuristic year of, I believe by Transformers Victory, it was supposed to be 3 years from that. So it was basically in Transformers Victory, even though the cartoon aired on television in 1989, it was what was the, at the time, the year 2008. And basically, because the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon, it jumped ahead 20 years into the future, Hasbro and Takara Tomy, they designed Transformers toys that had more science fictional looking vehicles, and basically the theme of robots in disguise was kind of thrown out the window. So the tank mode itself is pretty lackluster. Here on Takara's version of Greatshot, the two legs don't actually tab in together, so for this mold right here, tank mode is the weakest of all the modes. Here on Clone Droid's version of Greatshot, the tank mode, the legs do snap together in several spots, so the tank turret is a little more stable. I apologize for taking it off camera, but one thing that Takara Tomy's tank mode has over the third party is that there's 3 little plastic wheels, 2 right here on each of the tank treads, and then a third one right there on the faux cockpit for the actually, no, I think it is the actual cockpit for the spaceship mode, but yeah, there's a third little plastic wheel right there, so even though this is a carpet surface on a solid flat surface, this toy, it rolls, well, at least it rolls. The third-party toy, it doesn't have any plastic wheels at all. The tank treads are just solid molded pieces due to the transformation, and pretty much the only wheels it has are the wheels for the car mode, and the wheels on the third-party version, they're actually rubber tires, just like the Generation 1 toys, but unfortunately, due to how the tires are molded, they don't roll really well. Now, one thing about the third-party version of Greatshot, and it's the same for Six-Shot, on the Generation 1 toy, the wheels were actually designed on the opposite side of the 2 sets of double-barrel laser cannons for the tank mode. But here on the third-party tank mode, and basically what that means is, what I was trying to get at is that when you have the double-barrel laser cannons, which end up on the robot mode shoulders, the wheels end up upside down facing the ground. Here on the third-party version, because the wheels are positioned at a different angle, unfortunately the third-party toy, it's not entirely Generation 1 accurate with how the wheels and the laser cannons are placed here, so there are 2 official configurations for this toy mold. Some people who have the versions of Greatshot and Six-Shot made by Mastermind Creations and the company that made knockoffs of Mastermind Creations toys, which is the versions that I own, which was the company Clone Droid. To differentiate Greatshot and Six-Shot, they do, some Transformers collectors have made the wheels at the different configurations. They've given Six-Shot this conversion and Greatshot that conversion, and vice versa. But yeah, other than that, tank mode is, I've always felt the weakest mode of all the 6 changers, so I won't, even though I mentioned the car mode a moment ago, I think I'll go into a different mode next because it's easier to get from tank mode to the mode I want to do next, so bear with me for a second, please. Alright, and after moving the camera back a bit, we come to the most controversial mode for the 6 changers the last few years, the submarine mode. Now, basically, over the years, there's been more and more restrictive toy gun laws here in the United States, and basically Transformers characters that in the Generation 1 toy line had laser guns for vehicle modes, or alt modes, if you will. Even if the laser gun was completely science fictional looking, apparently toy gun laws today in the current decade of the 20-teens means basically companies aren't even allowed to make toy laser guns, so if anyone has been wondering why there hasn't been any new Star Wars toys that have been life-sized versions of the blasters that some of the characters use and why only lightsabers have been made, that's because those toy companies have a lot more restrictions about toy gun laws. So basically what Hasbro and Takara Tomy did is the when the toy mold was originally designed for 6-shot, what they did is they took the laser gun mode, and what they did is they flipped it upside down to make submarine mode. So, you can still do that here with Greatshot, flip it around and make it a laser gun, just like the Generation 1 toy. And right down here, some people have pointed out that the Rhino horn can actually be used as a faux trigger. I'm going to just fold that away, that way I don't accidentally break it. And I apologize if I haven't properly armed these toys. Both these toys are Greatshot. If some of the parts aren't exactly flipped in the direction that the instructions state. Now, there's actually also been controversy with the laser gun mode for the third-party version of 6-shot and also Greatshot, because a lot of Transformers fans came to the false conclusion that the legs for the laser gun mode on the third-party and fourth-party toys for the 6-changers, they had to be the exact same position as spaceship mode, so pretty much the only step to changing the toy from spaceship mode to laser gun mode was to flip the gun handle / jet mode wings up and down, but there's actually more to the transformation than that. So this is actually for anyone who has Mastermind Creations versions of 6-shot, Greatshot, and I think there's also a black version of 6-shot. But I think Mastermind Creations named it Shadow Shot, I can't remember. Or if you have the versions of 6-shot and Greatshot that I have, which were the knockoffs of Mastermind Creations products made by the fourth-party company Clone Droid, then this is the correct transformation for laser gun mode. So yeah, basically, today in the 21st century, it's much safer to just have these laser guns flipped around 180 degrees and call them submarines, so yeah, pretty much I don't mind. I'm just kind of happy that Hasbro and Takara Tomy made the laser gun modes, submarine modes, just flipping them upside down. So I will be back in just one second with these toys transformed into the next mode. I'm sorry, but one thing I forgot to point out, it's just an idea I came up with one day, but if you want to distinguish the laser gun mode from the submarine mode, and I've done this with 6-shot too, what you can do is there's an alternate transformation for the front laser guns, which makes the toy look slightly more like the Generation 1 toy in that regard. Alright, so yeah. Now on to the next mode. Alright, and we finally arrived at my personal favorite mode for Greatshot and all of his mold mates, the Jet mode. Now the Jet mode on both Takara and the third-party versions of Greatshot, they are pretty great. They are somewhat disproportionate, especially compared to the original Generation 1 toy. But despite their flaws, they do the job of being a spaceship pretty well. And I forgot to fold out one little piece here. There it is. Now, one thing that both the Titans this mold, Takara Tomy's Greatshot, and the third-party version, they both have relatively small wings in jet mode, especially compared to the Generation 1 toy. So what Takara Tomy did was, rather than have the missiles that form the wing cannons stick on top or below the wings, they had them stick out to the side of the wings, so it creates somewhat of an optical illusion that the wings aren't as tiny as they actually are compared to the rest of the jet mode. And the one part I forgot to flip out down here is the landing gear. And basically, Greatshot's landing gear in his jet mode, it's this little landing gear piece right there, and then right here on the top of the cockpit for the tank mode, there's a few little bumps on there, and that's basically the landing gear that Takara's version of Greatshot has in jet mode. But yeah, I pretty like it. For those of you who don't own Takara's version of Greatshot, when you get him in his box for the first time, he's somewhat transformed into jet mode, but there are some parts that Takara Tomy transformed incorrectly on purpose so he'd fit in the box. Now, Clone Droid's version of Greatshot, the landing gear is a little more intricate. You get front landing gear, and it's actually two halves since they're both where the legs apart, and then there's rear landing gear on both of the wings. Now, unfortunately, on my copy of Clone Droid's version of Greatshot, as you can see right here, the peg holes on the end of the wings for his laser cannons, they are really loose and they fall off at a moment's notice. I've been thinking of that, attempting to, for the first time since I began collecting Transformers toys, doing that old trick of applying nail polish remover to thicken the ports, the 5mm pegs on the laser guns, but I haven't really decided if I want to do that yet. And so here on the third-party / fourth-party version of Greatshot, there is a lot more molded detail compared to the official products by Takara. For instance, here on the back, there are a total of 10 sculpted engine ports. 6 big ones painted silver on the bottom. Then if you look right in there, there's 4 smaller ones. So yeah, that's pretty intricate and pretty amazing. So, yeah, jet mode, it's my favorite mode. I always love Autobots who transform into jets. I know that during the first years of the Transformers franchise, having the Decepticons turn into the jets, it gave them the upper hand on the battlefield, and so it gave the Autobots an underdog status, but I don't know why, I just love jet Transformers, so yeah, Greatshot, both these toys are Greatshot, they look pretty good. Paint-wise, the biggest difference between these two versions of Greatshot, Takara's and Clone Droid's, the fuselage of the jet on Clone Droids, it's primarily black on top, and on Greatshot it's blue. And then, actually, when you flip them around, and yeah, Clone Droids is still primarily black, and Greatshot's is also primarily black. Again, with that laser gun wanting to fall off and not stay in place. And strangely enough, it's only the ports here on the jet mode wings for Clone Droid's version of Greatshot where the laser guns don't want to stay in place. On all the other pegs, they peg in fairly well. So I don't know why in my favorite mode for Greatshot, these laser guns don't want to cooperate whatsoever. But on to the next mode. I apologize profusely. I finally noticed the whole time I had Takara's version of Greatshot transformed in his jet mode, one of his wheels was transformed facing the wrong way, so I apologize for that. So, just bear here for a moment, please. Alright, and here we are at Armored Car mode. Now, this mode is definitely where Takara's version of Greatshot shines over the third-party version / fourth-party version by Clone Droid. And that is because the wheels are made out of plastic, and so they're actually free to roll really well. Even though this is a carpet surface, it's actually rolling really nicely. Now, for those of you wondering why I don't have the Titan Master sitting in the car mode, that's because in all the modes except for Robot mode and Rhino mode, Takara's version of Greatshot, the Titan Master can actually sit comfortably inside the cockpit section for tank mode, so in case anyone was wondering if Takara's version of Greatshot has proper Titan Master / Headmaster storage, that's basically where it is. Now, on the version of Greatshot made by Clone Droid, which is based off the version of Greatshot released by Mastermind Creations, unfortunately, this version of Greatshot doesn't roll at all in Armored Car mode, and that's because the rubber tires on the front wheels, the way they were sculpted, if you look right there, right down the middle of the tire where the molding was put in place, that little ridge right in the middle of the tire occupies the hairline space between the tire and the space that the wheel actually spins in, so the tires are literally, I'd say, 0.5 millimeter too thick to sit in and roll around properly. So as you can see right there, it'll spin properly when it's at an angle, but when fully straightened out, it rubs up against that ridge. So unfortunately, in car mode, the version of Greatshot by Clone Droid, it doesn't roll around it well. I don't think Mastermind Creations' version of Greatshot had that problem because the tires, the rubber ones, were switched out with plastic ones. One thing I forgot to show off in robot mode, one of Greatshot's gimmicks, which Clone Droid carried over from Mastermind Creations' version of the toy. All 6 of the hubcaps for the wheels of the car mode, they come into they turn into little 3-pointed ninja throwing stars. So that's one gimmick that the third-party version of Greatshot has over the official toy made by Takara. I've talked with myself in the past about possibly filing down the rubber tires to remove that ridge to make them spin well, but to be honest, armored car mode on the third-party version of Greatshot, it's my least favorite mold. If anyone out there does manage to find and buy Clone Droid's version of Greatshot, armored car mode is the mode that the toy is packaged in inside the box. But to be honest, Takara's version of Greatshot, it definitely outshines the third-party version. Now let's see, we've covered robot mode, beast mode, tank mode, laser gun mode / submarine mode, armored car mode. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I've covered all the modes. Robot, Rhino, tank, laser gun / submarine, car. Oh yeah, jet mode. I forgot that mode. I showed that off as well. So as far as I'm aware, there aren't any other modes to show off. Oh, wait a second. Let me check something. Oh, that's right. I forgot. There's a secret mode to show off, so we will come back to that in just a moment. Alright, and so here we are at the final mode for Greatshot, the secret mode. Actually, quotations are unnecessary. This mode is a complete secret, sort of. So basically, spoiler alert for no one who's watched it, in the Transformers Headmasters cartoon show, Six-Shot defeated Ultra Magnus in battle and killed him. So the way Six-Shot was able to do that is he revealed to Ultra Magnus that he had a secret 7th mode, which Takara Tomy officially named Winged Wolf. So since Greatshot is a Rhino, I decided to call it Winged Rhino mode. And basically this mode, toy designers at Takara Tomy, supposedly one day they fiddled around with the Generation 1 Six-Shot toy to see if there could be another mode made from all the different official alt mode parts, and they came up with this. So basically, Winged Rhino mode for Greatshot. You could call it Winged Beast mode just to include Six-Shot as well, but since the video's about Greatshot, for Winged Rhino mode, it's basically a mashup of the different vehicle modes, but primarily what happens, it's a vehicle that looks like a spaceship, but it has the beast mode Rhino head instead of a cockpit section, and then instead of an actual tail, it just has like a rocket booster in the back of it. So it's basically almost like a dive bomb type spaceship vehicle. And there's different places you can put the plastic laser guns. On Takara's version, I like to put them at the edge of the wings, and on Clone Droid's version, I like to put them at the back, make them look like rocket boosters. So yeah, Winged Rhino mode is the 7th and final mode for Greatshot, and do I recommend Greatshot? I only recommend Greatshot if you like Six-Shot and you want to have an Autobot version of the mold if you don't have Hasbro's version of Quick Switch made from the Titan's Return mold. As I said at the beginning of the video, Greatshot is an obscure character, so most Transformers fans don't know he exists. But yeah, after I found out Greatshot existed, I liked him. I liked him so much that I ended up buying 2 toys of him. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been the TF Geek. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.